Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to draw Neymar Jr. I'm going to use my iPad, but just grab a pencil and paper. If you haven't already, check out some of my drawing books. They're in the description, but otherwise, let's get going. So I'm going to draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. This is going to give me kind of the area of the face I want to work with. I'm going to kind of go a little bit curved on both, and then let's just go and where that horizontal line is, I want to draw a couple of kind of just curved shapes. These are going to be his eyes. So imagine that they're kind of like you would draw a cartoon with just their eyes closed. So just two curves like that, okay? Now, underneath, this is not going to be the bottom of the eye, but do another curve. It just makes it almost like an oval. These are going to be kind of just the lines, the creases that go underneath the eyeball. So when you draw eyes, you can kind of start that way. Makes it easier to get the shape right. And then I'm going to do two more, just creases right underneath, like that. Okay, now from the center of both of those first ones we did, I'm going to come down, I'm going to just draw these round eyeballs. And imagine that we're going to draw essentially the whole thing, but we're going to stop before we finish the bottom. And then we can go through and we can just kind of add these curves. When you're sketching, you don't have to draw the whole thing out. It's kind of good to leave some to the imagination. Okay, now inside those eyeballs, let's make them kind of dark. We're going to do another circle, but we're going to leave a section that's just light. So we'll go real dark and then just leave a part that is shaded for light. Just like that. Doesn't really matter where the light is. I just like to try to keep them consistent between both eyes. And then what I'll do is I'm going to just add in a little bit more shading, maybe a little bit of shading on the top of the eyeball there. Just kind of adds a little bit of depth, makes it look a little more realistic. The more kind of random, the better. Maybe in the corners of the eyes, we'll just put a little bump. Okay, now that we got his eyes, I'm going to go ahead and do his nose. So just come down that straight vertical line, and about here, we're going to just do this bump. And then on each side, we'll curve for the nostrils. Kind of go out a little bigger on the left side. With the nose, I find it's good to not have them be like identical, or it just looks kind of fake. Now he has a wider nose, so first we'll do the curves out here for each of the nostrils. But then because he has a wider nose, we'll kind of bring it out over here with the line right there. That kind of makes it a little bit more accurate. All right, now come down further on that vertical line, and we're gonna go just across like this. Just a very slight curve, and then underneath it, his bottom lip in this shape. And whenever you do bottom lips like that, you can either draw the shape like I did, or what I'm doing right now, you can just kind of add some shading, and the shading will automatically kind of create that bottom lip. So he's got some facial hair, so that's what I'm gonna add there. All right, now for the upper lip, you can do a similar thing where you can just add in the shading, or I'm gonna just do a line, and it basically looks kind of like the top of a heart, but then just curves out. And then I'll add in a little bit more shading kind of between those two. All right, we're getting somewhere with him. Let's go ahead and add his eyebrows now, because he's looking a little funky without them. So with the eyebrows, you can kind of blend that into the shade of the eye socket. So the eye socket is just the area surrounding the eye, right? So you can kind of do this with just a with sketching. You can kind of do this by just going back and forth like I'm doing with a pencil, and just fading into the eye socket, adding a little bit of dark up into the top there. I'm going to give a little gap because he'll shave his eyebrow. And then when you come to the other side of the eye, just add in a little bit of shading like that. Maybe I'll do a little shading on the bottom there too. Okay, same thing on the other side. So we'll kind of start over to the right, create a little bit of shading, start out pretty light, and then as we come up, we'll get a little darker. So it gives you a lot of like leeway, a lot of room to just have some fun with it, because the eyebrows, you know, depending on their shape, it could basically mean they're happy, sad, you know, angry, whatever it is. And so even if you don't get it like perfect, you can kind of, you know, forgive yourself, because you can just say, well, I wanted them to look that way. That was the expression I was going for. All right, let's go back down to the nose. So on each side of the nostril, I'm gonna add just a couple of minor little lines there. And then we're gonna have some facial hair, and I'm gonna just, again, because I'm sketching, I'm gonna just go a little crazy. I don't really want it to be super like one direction. So I'm kind of just scribbling, as you can see. And I'm gonna just scribble down, create kind of this mustache. Now he has a beard as well, but I don't want to do that till I have his head shape. Okay, so for the head shape, we're gonna come up here on the right, and we're gonna come right down, pretty much straight down until we get to the edge of that mustache, and then we're gonna come in like that. Now on the other side, right about here is where we would normally come down, but because we're gonna see a little bit of the back of his head, we'll go back a little bit more. I'm gonna give a gap for his ear, and then we'll just bring it in like that. That gives us kind of the shape, right, of his whole head. And where that gap is for the ear, we can just come out and create this curve. If I'm going too fast, by the way, just pause the video and then catch up and then unpause it. All right, and then the inside of the ear, all kinds of shapes work. Generally, as long as you have an ear lobe somewhere in there that I just am drawing right now, then it works. So I tend to have the earlobe with a little bit of like a concave, I guess you could call it, and then that works. All right, let's add in the rest of his facial hair. So I'm gonna do the same thing I was doing before, and I'm gonna just kind of go nuts and not worry about texture on this. I mean, we could get into that, but I'm not gonna do texture on this drawing. I'm gonna just have a little bit of fun and do just whatever style design that my heart desires. So I can just fill in right over the top of that shape and all the way around. Connect it to his mustache. Just add a little bit of fun. Done. Looks all right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do his hair. Now his hair, he kind of buzzes and then has it come up on the top. So I'm gonna just, similar thing, I'm gonna just give myself some kind of an outline up here. And then on the inside, like that. Just kind of give me that kind of shape. That actually looks all right for the first try. Now for this, maybe I'll put a little more effort. I'm gonna just do some longer strokes though with my pencil. So even then, I'm not gonna go crazy on detail with his hair. Hair can take a long time if you want to really put the effort in. But I kind of just wanted to show you guys a basic sketch today. Let me know in the comments though if you're mad about that. You want me to show some better hair, I can do that in the next one. All right, so now let's add in, let's do his neck and we'll finish up with some shading. So on each side, his neck kind of comes over like that. I'm gonna just sketch out like that for where I think his t-shirt is. And maybe we'll add in some real simple, just t-shirt shading right there. And then for his actual neck, I'm gonna just do these lines like this. And this is gonna just give us a little bit of shading underneath. I don't know. I know he's got like some tattoos on his neck. I don't know what they are. So I'm gonna just add in kind of this design. And that actually looks kind of cool. Okay. Last of all, let's add in some shading. Okay, so underneath eyes. Underneath the eyes, there's always gonna be some shading that kind of circles the eye. So on each side, you can kind of circle the eye with a little bit of shading. Then the cheeks do a similar thing where there creates this little bump in the center of the cheek. And so you can shade up and around where you want that bump to be. So like on this left side, I want it to be right below the eye socket, but also above just his cheek part, the lower cheek. Okay, so then on the side of his head as well, I want his forehead to pop out, and so I can shade this side of the head all the way up, and that kind of makes that forehead pop like that. And then I'm gonna just add in a bunch of bumps over here to kind of show like a buzz. So we're pretty much done with him. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Check out some of my books. I've got the anime books listed below on how to draw anime characters. And I'll be coming out with some new figure books very soon. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys had a good time. Hopefully learned some technique today. And there you have it. I think we have got him finished up. I think he turned out all right. So thanks again, guys, for hanging out, and I will see you next time.